Today is Advent 1, marking the beginning of a new Christian calendar year. But last week, the Santa Claus parade heralded the coming holidays, and once that happened, invitations started arriving for office parties, family gatherings, neighborhood decorating, sharing hot cocoa, singing carols, concerts retelling the Christmas story, Christmas galas, school concerts, and Advent wreath making. The list goes on and on. All these festivities and comings together are what we associate with the season: Christmas cheer, Yule logs, and goodwill to all. But with each passing year, there are more off-limit subjects that have the potential to ruin the gatherings. So many topics have become toxic, topics that leave hosts on edge. It's not a question of right or wrong. It's that too many people think that there is only one position on any given issue, and that position is theirs. Those who don't agree have to be shouted down or driven out. No opportunity can be given to let them spread their misguided notions, seeking gullible converts. Inevitably, when 2 or 3 people get together, one of those subjects will arise. It doesn't matter which. Politics, immigration, drugs and crime, Trump or Hamas, you name it, the result is the same. Mind-boggling indignation at the realization that another guest does not share their viewpoint. And then, instead of discussion, sharing of perspectives, and debate, voices rise. Demands to recant are made, questioning the other's intellect or their morality. Condemnation, and the voices get louder and more aggressive until one walks away or takes a poke at the other one whose declamations are proving too irritating to bear. Well, I can only think of 3 remedies. First, only invite people who share the same view on just about everything. But then a new issue arises and even they divide. Or secondly, ring a bell and announce that subject is not discussed in this house. However, enforcing that rule may well draw you into the trap of taking sides with one or the other. The ultimate solution? Stop holding or attending events. But that does take the joy of gathering from the season. The challenge really is to return to another time, a time when parties provided a setting that was enriched by discussion and debate. There were times when anything could be talked over. Well, perhaps not sex if the parents were about. Getting another's perspective on one's own position, honing arguments, and perhaps even ceding a point or two. That's the way it used to be. Now we just don't want to talk with anyone who doesn't agree with us wholeheartedly. Somehow we've convinced ourselves that any opposing position is unconscionable. Not only are they wrong, but they are spouting evil and must be shut down, greeted with taunts, ridicule, and then driven out. The result? Family dinners end with a walkout or a roaring battle that destroys both appetite and relationships. Office parties that reveal that your sympathies for Ukraine do not extend to a co-worker who you previously respected. And now each reverts to their own corner, ready for battle and discrimination, but no openness to rationale or reason. Then there are the Grits and the Tories lining up on the battle of the border and how the other side just doesn't understand what is necessary to win the game. And the religious and the non-religious and the religious despising those who don't share their particular brand. It makes one wonder how the Prince of Peace could be central to such abuse. The toleration that Canadians took pride in for generations is being debased in the current culture wars. Differences, whether about where the world in general is heading or political, religious, or social viewpoints, have divided large blocks of the public. The attacks that result are rabid in their nature, and it is societal self-hate on a massive scale. Wokeism on one side and those that disagree with, and the ideas they despise on the other. The question is how to deal with this current reality. Walking away is ceding the argument to the one who remains. Yelling merely means that neither is hearing the other, whether from fear that one's own position is not winnable, or in anger that ignorance refuses to listen. Neither response is acceptable or civilized or worthy of people living in a country where freedom of speech is part of the desired national character. But I'm only one person, there's nothing that I can do? That's no argument. You're just wrong if that's your position, because that is all there is in this world. Billions of only one persons. Each person doing the right thing influences others, and that's the only solution to the current disorder. As long as you're talking and listening, there's hope. If you can talk and without agreeing or abandoning your own position, can shake hands and agree to disagree, civilization and humanity carry on. And what is the alternative? If we cannot return respect and grace into our relationships and our meetings, if we cannot get along in our own home or community, if we cannot discuss and debate to a satisfactory conclusion that leaves one free to change or not change, we all fail. A world divided by unbending positions and hostility. Politicians reflecting that bile. After all, how can there be agreement on anything in a respectful fashion, on fighting crime, on moving the country forward, on balancing or passing budgets, or bringing peace to war and division, if all people do is shout the other down? How can we encourage equality if we can't mend fences? How can we encourage respect if we can't agree to disagree? How can we encourage justice if only one side is able to be heard? So I offer up our Advent challenge. When you send out your invites, include a variety of people and encourage discussion, hearing the perspectives of others and what led them to the positions they hold. If that can't be done graciously, then you're stuck with the weather as the only remaining topic for Canadians. But even that may lead to the green battles. It is your house, your rules. Make your stand for tolerance and learning and respect for others. That makes for civilization. That allows people of different histories and races and creeds to come together and enjoy each other's company and build this great country. The rules for tolerance and amiability need to spread throughout our homes, communities, and the world if we are to share the rights for which our ancestors fought and the democracy which grew over thousands of years, earned and protected, and paid for at the cost of lives. It all starts with each of us in every gathering, where each conversation communicates rather than castigates. Each time courtesy prevails. Whenever listening with an open mind leads to new ideas to ponder. The result? We all end up richer and wiser, and the world a more peaceful and loving place for all. And so I pray, Lord, teach me how to do better. Let me learn to listen with both ears instead of watching for a spot where I can jump in and show off my arguments. Let me respect the rights of others to disagree without being disagreeable, and practice promoting my ideas without raising my voice or denigrating anyone. Let me be an instrument for peace, harmony, and growth where all are heard and wisdom honed. So may it be. Amen.